Hey everyone, it's Brandon. I'm back with another Big Brother Spoilers intro. Today's guest is Tracy Michelle Spencer, Katherine's stepmom, here to give us a unique perspective on one of the most talked about dynamics of Big Brother 27. Tracy opens up about what Katherine is really like outside the house, her first reaction to seeing her stepdaughter cast on the show, and how the family has been handling the season from home. She also does a whole back on the Rylie situation, from her honest opinion on him to how she thinks that dynamic has affected Katherine's game, and what she hopes viewers truly understand about Katherine by the end of the season. Plus, we talk about family reactions, managing all the online feedback, and whether she'd ever want to play Big Brother herself. This one is insightful, candid, and gives fans the family side of the story. Let's jump in.
Yeah, so thank you so much for joining me today. You're here to share your unique perspective on Katherine's journey in the house and your thoughts on the Rylie and Katherine dynamic. So I'm really excited to get into this. So to start off, what is Katherine and yours background with Big Brother?
I'm a rookie. Never watched it before now. Katherine started watching it about a couple of years ago.
And was this her first time applying to the show?
Yes.
And so what is your relationship with Katherine personally?
I was married to her father for many years. We're not married right now. So I don't really feel like there's a reason to say former stepdaughter, because when you divorce the spouse, you don't divorce the kids. So the only steps in my house are at the front door.
So does Katherine at home, does she ever go by Kat, or was she just Katherine to her family?
When she was younger, she actually did not like being called Kat. She prefers Katherine, but I think in college, people started calling her that, and then she just kind of accepted it, that there was not going to be any way around it.
So what was your first thought when you found out that she was going to be on the show?
No, I was a little surprised that she would want to be under 24-hour surveillance. She's a very private person, so I was a little shocked.
And when you found out she was on the show, you said you hadn't seen Big Brother before. Did you do some of your own homework on Big Brother to know what she was getting herself into?
No, not until, because she left for Big Brother not long before it actually went on the air. So I sort of learned this progressively as things went along. So I'm not a super fan, so I don't know anything about past season winners or anything like that. But I did, obviously, when she signed up, as the show progressed, I started learning and asking more questions. So now I feel like an expert.
So what do you think of the show? Are you going to watch future seasons or watch past seasons?
I'm probably not going to watch past seasons. I may watch future seasons, but there are so many. There's 25 years to catch up on. I wouldn't even know where to begin. If somebody told me, I think you should watch, whatever, season 6 or something, it's the most interesting one, I would do that. But I don't have that kind of time in my day, honestly, to go back and look at previous seasons.
What about Rachel's seasons? Maybe start there?
But I feel like in some ways that would be a waste of time because, I already have, I guess, maybe newer thoughts about her. So I don't know. I don't think that watching her, any of her seasons would change my thoughts about her today.
So let's get into Katherine's gameplay. So how do you think she is playing the game so far?
I think she's playing the game well. I think her game suffered with Rylie, but I think Rylie made his own game suffer as well. I think the both of them each hurt their own game. But I would like to see her have the opportunity to stay a little bit longer to kind of get her feet replanted.
And has anything about her gameplay surprised you at all?
Just the fact that she did get wrapped up in another player so much. Not specifically Rylie, but any player. I don't think that Big Brother is a game that you can play as a duet. I think you have to be in a larger alliance, and teaming up that closely with any one player, doesn't matter who it is, male or female, if the two of you create a clique and you're excluding other players, I think that's bad for both people's game. And I would say that if it was anybody other than Rylie, I would feel the same way.
Yes, you mentioned that she's a private person. Do you think her calm and quiet demeanor is strategy, or is that just naturally who she is?
She's a private person, and other than posting pictures on Instagram, she's not someone, when she opens the door of a room, she's not the loud voice in the room. She might turn heads because she's so beautiful, but she's not going to walk into a room and be the one that sticks out. She's more comfortable not sticking out.
And who do you think has been a genuine friend to Katherine in the house?
Lauren, for sure. Lauren.
So going off of Lauren, were you upset when Lauren used the veto on Vince last week, especially after Katherine was pitching to her not to use it, knowing it could lead to her Rylie on the block?
It is disappointing. However, I don't really feel like anybody should sacrifice their own game. If Lauren thought that was going to be best for her game, then that was what she should have done, because Katherine would have done what's best for her game. So I don't fault Lauren for that.
And if Katherine wins the money, what do you think she would do with the $750K?
I hope the first thing she does is buy a car. That's what I hope the first thing she does. She's not going to go crazy with the money. She's going to be responsible. She will put most of it back. I'm sure she's going to want to buy a few toys for herself, as would anybody. But I really think the first thing on her list would be a new car, and she needs a new car. I don't think she would buy anything stupid with it. She would buy a sensible car, and then I'm sure she'd buy maybe a couple pieces of jewelry or something and put the rest away.
Do you see her continuing in reality TV and entertainment, or do you think this is more of a one-time thing for her?
I think that she's going to get sucked into it. I don't know that she's necessarily as drawn to it as other people are going to be drawn to her. But I don't really think she's going to make a career out of it. She's not going to be another Rachel, in my opinion. She has a degree in public relations, and so I think she'll probably do something with that. I think that once Big Brother is over and everything calms down, I think she will use her degree and find a job in public relations like she always planned.
So let's get into the Rylie dynamic a little bit. So was getting into a showman something you thought could happen, or did it catch you off guard when this happened?
Did not catch me off guard. Not at all.
And was that part of her plan, getting into a showmance, or it just happened that way?
I think that she was open-minded to it when she left, but I don't think she would have anticipated what really kind of became of it, the fallout that came after the showmance. I don't think she would have anticipated that. She didn't go there for the showmance, but I think she was open to, if it happened, that's fine. If it doesn't, that's fine.
And is Rylie her usual type?
He is not her usual type.
And so what do you personally think of him?
I knew you were going to ask this. So I am going to try my best to withhold judgment, because I don't pretend to know Rylie. I talked to his mom. She's a nice lady. We agreed on some things. We disagreed on others. But we both agreed that none of us know Rylie and none of us know Katherine from Big Brother. I think that being in the Big Brother house probably makes anyone act a little differently than they would in the real world. They're sequestered. They're just stuck with each other. They can't talk to friends or family. No TV, no internet. I can't imagine living that way. So you can't fault a leopard for being a leopard. And if that's who Rylie is as a person, I don't have to like him. My bigger problem was how Katherine responded to some of Rylie's behavior. I would have liked to have seen more of the real Katherine respond to what we all saw as being a little disturbing. And I would have liked to have seen her be the Katherine that I know she is, which is independent. I don't take crap from anybody. You're not going to talk to me that way. she's not a codependent person. I've never really seen her be so codependent. I think that he provided a sense of security and protection. And when you're in the conditions that all of the players are in, maybe other than Rachel, I think it's probably a new, unexpected experience, and everybody behaves and reacts differently. So I'm going to chalk off Katherine's responses, uncharacteristic responses to Rylie, as just being a result of living in the house. But Rylie as a person, it's difficult for me to comment on someone that I don't really know. I can tell you that I did tell his mom that I didn't like what I saw. She was defending him, as she should. That is her son, and she should defend him. But I did tell her, without judging his character, speaking strictly from the things that I saw on the feeds, it was hard to watch, and I didn't like it. And I don't know if that's the real Rylie or if that's just the Rylie that, like Katherine, there's parts of Katherine on Big Brother I don't even recognize sometimes. So maybe that's happened to Rylie as well. I don't know.
And what do you think of how everyone in the house loves him, but everyone on the outside doesn't love him? And then as the house gets getting evicted and coming out and seeing the reception to him, then they're, not, they're separating themselves from Rylie. What do you think of how the house loves him, then the outside world does not?
Well, I think that kind of supports what I was saying. You don't know what's going on in the Big Brother house. I mean, we think we do because we're watching the live feeds, and we think that we're seeing everything. And the truth is, we're not seeing everything. I mean, sometimes all 4 cameras are on the same conversation. So obviously things are happening other than that one conversation out on the hammock. So I don't think for 1 minute that we've seen everything. So I think that the backlash that Rylie's experiencing right now, I really would hate for anybody to experience that, honestly. I think that he's probably blindsided, and I'm just guessing. I haven't talked to his mom about this, and I haven't spoken to Rylie. I'm sure he was a bit blindsided because he was well loved in the house, but I feel sorry for him to have to come out of such intense conditions and then walk into a hornet's nest. I think he got blindsided. So I would hate that for anybody, honestly.
And how much of the live feeds are you watching? Are you watching any more, any less now that Rylie's gone, or?
No, I would say it's about the same. I go through phases. I binge watch them where I literally will watch all day. And then depending on what's happening that day, like today, I haven't watched them at all. And I didn't watch them at all yesterday. So, but prior to that, I'd probably watched them 3 days straight. So I watch them a good bit, but sometimes I just have to step back and say, okay, no Big Brother today.
So do you think the relationship with Rylie, do you think it's helped or hurt her game? I know you said that kind of distracted them, but do you think that Rylie was protecting her in the game at all and that could have helped her?
I think they each perceived that they were protecting each other. I think the reality was the fact that in the process of trying to protect each other, they alienated everyone else. And that may be what gets Katherine sent home tonight. It's certainly what got Rylie sent home. So, and it may very well send Katherine home tonight.
And are you happy that Rylie was evicted, or are you a little sad because they were kind of protecting each other in the game?
Well, like I said, I'm happy when any player gets evicted other than Katherine, because that's one less person to have to deal with for the prize money. But I was glad that he got evicted in the sense that I wanted to see whether or not the real Katherine would now emerge, because she started the game out as herself and then she lost herself. She got entangled in his web, and he did hers. So it went both ways. But I was glad for him to get evicted and for her to be able to stay, simply because I wanted to see her play the game without him.
And do you think it'll be better for Katherine to leave tonight or next week to go home pre-jury, or would you rather her stay in and make it to the jury phase?
I would rather her stay because I know that's what she wants. So it's easy for all of us who miss her to say that we want her home now. But I know that she wants to stay, And so because that's what she wants, I want that for her.
What kind of advice would you give her from the outside on the relationship?
Don't ever lose your sense of self. Whether you're inside the Big Brother house or you're outside the Big Brother house, the person that you are is beautiful, strong, and independent. And I don't want to see her lose that with anyone else, man or woman. I want her to stay true to herself, and just living in that pressure cooker brought out a side of her that was unfamiliar to those of us that know her. But I do think that I would probably be acting differently and if I was in the house. So to some degree, I mean, I don't blame her, but I'm optimistic that once the transition is complete and she gets home, that she will get regrounded and we'll get the old Katherine back.
And Rylie didn't do exit interviews. What do you think of that situation?
I think it was really smart, frankly, because yes, I think that was I think that was a good idea. Even if he didn't realize it, I think that CBS was probably doing what they felt like was in his best interest, possibly theirs. But I believe, taking a moment to say, hey, come back here. We need to kind of fill you in on what's been happening, because they don't know. Nobody in the house knows. So I think that somebody probably told him, this is what's been on social media for the past few weeks, and you need to know what's been said about you, and we're going to help you respond to some probably very difficult questions. And so I don't fault him for that. I think it was probably in his best interest, whether he realizes it or not. And he's probably going to be giving interviews soon. And I think when he does, he'll be prepared for some of the tough questions.
So when you say it was in his best interest, do you think it was CBS that canceled them, or he just didn't want to do them? What do you think on that?
I have no idea, and I'm not allowed to comment on production anyway. But I honestly don't know.
Do you think that he's going to be at the finale?
I don't know. Probably. I mean, I don't have any reason to believe that he wouldn't be. I mean, certainly not because of the showmance thing. I don't think that would be, if he's not there, I don't think it has anything to do with the showmance.
Well, I think especially if Katherine makes it to the jury phase of the game, he's going to want to see Katherine on the finale night. So I imagine he's going to be there.
I feel like he will be as well. And, like I said, I can't imagine a reason that he wouldn't be. So I anticipate him being at the finale.
And what have you thought of how the show has been portraying the relationship, comparing it to the feeds, what's actually happening in the feeds to what they're showing on the show?
Again, I can't comment on production. I mean, everybody saw the same thing on the feeds, and I don't think anybody should believe that everything that we saw on the feeds is everything that happened. I think that, again, like I told you, sometimes all four cameras are on the same conversation. So things are happening, things are being said. And I think that would be for any season, not just this season. So, we don't see everything on the live feeds. We see way more than the casual viewers see on the broadcast, for sure. But it's probably virtually impossible for us as television viewers, whether it's live feeds or the broadcast, we're not going to be able to see everything. The only people that see everything are the producers that are behind all of those mirrors. They see everything. They hear everything. But I don't think as viewers we'll ever see or hear everything. So I think that, after 25 years, Big Brother, they know what they're doing. This is, like I said, a quarter of a century into this show. I don't think they're experimenting with anything. I think this is a very well packaged show. It's got a very loyal following, and they know what the viewers want. And I think they're doing a good job at keeping Big Brother relevant. Not very many shows last a quarter of a century.
So when Katherine leaves the house, whether that's tonight or at the end, what is the family's plan of how to handle everything with Rylie?
Well, I don't think the family can handle anything with Rylie. Katherine's going to make up her own mind. That's entirely on her. She's going to decide whether or not she wants to talk to him, nobody that I know is going to try and stand in the way of that. If she wants to talk to him, she's going to be able to talk to him. And frankly, there's nothing that anyone, family or friends can do or say to prevent that from happening. But I feel my gut tells me that they will be friends, but my gut tells me that if there is a romantic relationship outside of the Big Brother house, I don't really see it being anything long lasting or significant. I just feel like they're fundamentally different. And that's not saying anything bad about either one of them, but they have fundamental differences that maybe can't be learned until you're in a normal environment. And being cooped up with anyone, especially 17 strangers, being cooped up, sequestered, I don't know that you get to know the real person inside that house. I think for Katherine to get to know the real Rylie, I think they would have to date in the real world outside of the house. And there's going to be some complications with that because they don't live anywhere near each other. So I don't think either one of them have the funds to keep flying back and forth. Unless Katherine wins the $750, maybe that's what she'll spend the money on. I don't know. But dating will be difficult, geographically speaking. And then without geography interfering, I think there are some misaligned perspectives on the world between the two of them that I think will probably make it difficult for a romantic relationship to succeed long term.
And how do you think that Katherine will feel when she eventually comes home and watches everything back?
Oh gosh, she's gonna hate it. Well, let me take that back. She's not gonna hate watching the live feeds. She's gonna hate seeing how everyone reacted to the live feeds. She's gonna hate it. She's gonna be embarrassed. She's going to feel that it's unjustified. And I hope that both Rylie and Katherine's transition back into real life is short-lived. I hope that by now, Rylie's been home almost a week now today. So I hope he's adjusting well with his family. As I said, I spoke to his mom. She seems lovely. He has a very loving family. I can see that for myself. So I know that Rylie's getting the support that he needs. Katherine will also get the support that she needs. Her primary go-tos for support in situations like this are going to be her closest girlfriends, particularly her roommate, who she's very close with, and I love her roommate to death as well. So she's going to be leaning on them just because that's her support system in her world as a 23-year-old. But as a family, we're obviously going to be there to wipe the tears and, give her whatever support that she needs. We'll definitely celebrate, even if she doesn't win, we'll celebrate her achievement and accomplishments for making it as far as she did. So I plan to have a party. I plan to hug her neck, tell her you did great. I'm proud of you. I love you. You were beautiful. And I think that she played the game as well as she knew how in the moment. Probably looking back at the feeds, I feel like she'll probably say, maybe I could have done some things differently. Maybe I should have tried to make a better effort with this person or that person. I think that she'll probably do that.
Yeah, so you mentioned parties. So have your family been doing like weekly watch parties for the show? Is it a big get together with your family at all?
No, we're all spread apart. So we're not, her family is very geographically scattered. So her father and I are the closest to her relative to Columbia, South Carolina, where she lives. But she has other family in Georgia that also love and care about her. And so she'll be getting support from them as well. So yeah, we'll probably, I imagine that we'll all try to come together, her family in Georgia, her family in South Carolina, her friends, like her roommates, her BFFs. I would like to see all of us come together to Columbia and have a big party for her. That's what I would like. I haven't made that phone call yet because I don't know when she's coming home. So you can't plan a party when you don't know the date of the party. But when she comes home, that's definitely at the top of my list of things to do.
And has there been a most emotional moment for you watching her as a family?
Yes, it was. Um, for me personally, it was the moment I think Rylie and Katherine were I think they were in the bathroom, and he said, "Don't raise your voice to me." And she said, "I'm not." And he goes, "Yes, you are." And I think he told her to shut up, or don't speak to me, or something like that. And that was really hard to watch. And I told his mom that. Like I said, she defended him as she should. Any mom should defend their children. But I did tell her, I'm not trying to judge his character. I don't pretend to know him. But I did see some things on the feeds that were quite disturbing, that I felt were controlling and manipulative. It was the same thing that everyone else saw. And I hope that's a reflection of being in the Big Brother house, and maybe that's not really who he is. I'm gonna try and keep an open mind, and if I do meet him in person, I'll try to put all that behind me the best that I can, and chalk it up to who knows how any of us would act under those same living conditions.
And have you been following what the fans have been saying online, or you try to stay away from that?
I have been following it, and it's a mixed bag. And so I've seen quite a bit of it. I'm sure I haven't seen everything, but I've seen quite a bit of it. I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly.
And how do you manage all of that feedback about your stepdaughter?
Well, everybody is entitled to their own opinion, and not everyone's going to like Katherine inside the house or outside the house. So I don't mind people talking about strategy and gameplay. I think that's fair for any of the contestants. This is what they signed up for. So the comments that I saw about Katherine's ruining her game, she should get away from him, things like that, I don't have a problem with any of that. That's your opinion about how Katherine's playing the game. Where I have to draw the line is her character being judged. And if you don't know her, then don't pretend that you know anything about her character, which is why I'm saying what I'm saying about Rylie. I cannot pretend to know his character and who he is in real life. So again, conditions inside the house probably make you do and say things perhaps you wouldn't do normally. So I'll keep an open mind about it, and I would like for people to do the same thing for Katherine.
I know you said you hadn't watched the feeds yesterday, but Ashley had asked Katherine yesterday if Rylie came back and proposed, what would she say? And she said no. So
thank you.
And he's mentioned. I mean, I'm sure you've seen he mentioned on the feeds many times, like I'm going to marry you. So
I did.
Katherine said no.
I did see that. I laughed about it. I really did. Katherine really hasn't had very many serious relationships. She's only 23, and Rylie's mom corrected me on his age. She says he's 27. I thought he was 34. I'll stand corrected. She knows how old he is better than me, obviously. So, but I would say even at 27, Rylie has had a lot more life experience than Katherine. She just graduated college in December. So she hasn't even had her first adult job yet. So I don't think a proposal from anyone would be realistic for Katherine at this stage in her life. And I would say that whether it was Rylie or whether it was someone else. I've said openly, I don't see Rylie being her type. Just, again, fundamental differences between the two. She's never dated anybody that was anything like Rylie. Nothing. So honestly, the fact that they were even able to maintain a friendship is a little surprising to me. But she found something in him that she needed, and I don't fault her for that. And if that's who Rylie is as a person, I can't fault him for that. Again, you can't blame a leopard for being a leopard. And if that's who he is, then he was being his true self, and you can't fault anyone for that. I didn't like it, but I don't have to like it. What I can do is if I see something where I feel like her safety and her personal space is not being respected, I can try and do something about that. But when she gets out of the house, if she calls him and he's at the airport, I mean, we'll deal with it then, I suppose. But trying to keep it in mind.
And not to scare you, but it did happen 7 years ago in season 20 where someone who was evicted pre-jury came to finale night and proposed to someone and made it to the jury. So it wouldn't be the first time.
Well, Catherine's young, though. I mean, she's, like I said, she's 20, 30. She's got a lot of life to live before she settles down with anyone. So, I mean, if Brad Pitt proposed to her, she would say no. So I just think that she needs to stretch her wings a little bit once Big Brother is in her rearview mirror. I want to see her live a normal life. I want her to get her first adult job using the degree that she worked so hard to get, and get out there and date a little more. Like I said, she hasn't had much of a love life up to this point. So, but the guys that she has dated, they were more like Zach and Zay. Those were two people that I could see her potentially, at least initially, having a showmance with.
So I know you can't get into the specific conversations you have with CBS, but what has the contact with them been like through this process? Have they been very good with you about, with the situation with Katherine and Rylie?
I have nothing but good things to say about CBS. They answered every email. They answered every phone call. They answered every question. I could not have asked for more.
The experience isn't over yet. Are you happy she won on the show, or are there some regrets?
No, I'm happy she went on the show. She needed something to break her out of her shell. And I tried to do that by putting her in every dance class that I could sign her up for. I put her in drama, the theatrical arts, and because she was really shy as a young teenager, I felt that she was so shy that I was a little concerned about her being able to conduct herself in a professional environment, like in an interview for a job. So I was in a real big hurry to shake that shyness out of her. So I was a stage rat when I was growing up, and the only thing I knew to do was to throw her on stage, and that's what I did. And she went to it like a duck to water. And then when she stopped dancing, she kind of got a little more quiet again and got comfortable with her friends at school, and I wanted her to join a sorority. She didn't want to join a sorority. So there was an opportunity to make more friends. So Katherine, as I stated earlier in this interview, she's a very private person. So I was surprised when she signed up for Big Brother, because I know that she's a private person who generally doesn't want somebody watching her 24/7. Having said that, if you have a fear of heights, the best thing to do is to go to the Eiffel Tower all the way to the top. So I'm kind of glad she signed up for it, because I think that she's learning a lot about life and people, probably almost like a crash course. So she's going to come out of this changed, but I feel like it's going to be a change for the better.
So based on how this experience has went for Katherine, would playing Big Brother be something you would ever want to do?
I don't think so, because I think that I would, like many people in the house, probably succumb to some of the pressure. And I have enough pressure on me. I don't need any more. So I don't see being asked to be on Big Brother, but I also don't see that being necessarily a good fit for my lifestyle.
And my last question is, what's something that you truly hope that viewers understand about Katherine by the end of this season?
What's something? Say that again.
What's something that you hope the viewers truly understand about Katherine by the end of the season?
That she is not codependent. She unfortunately did get wrapped up into a showmance that consumed much of her time and gameplay. And outside of the Big Brother house, she's outspoken. a bit mouthy, and she doesn't take crap from anybody. And so in the normal world, she would never allow someone to talk to her the way that Rylie was talking to her. So I want people to know that I do believe that we would all probably be changed living in those conditions, myself included. So she's strong, she's independent, and I think that this will be a good experience for her. It's certainly a life-changing experience, and just know that she's going to be okay on the other side of Big Brother.
All right, Tracy, thank you so much for taking the time to come on and share your perspective. It was great hearing your thoughts on Katherine's game and her experience in the house, and I really appreciate you giving this inside look for us.
Yeah, thanks so much. Sorry about the landscaping. They didn't get the memo that we were talking today.
That's okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you.